What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. In today's video, we're going to talk about a new series that I wanted to start and the direction that I want to take the channel. So let's roll the intro clip. When we come back, we're going to talk all about it. As always, of course, don't forget to stay hydrated. Let's roll the intro clip and let's come back and let's talk about who knows what's in this bottle. It's, it's just water. Let's roll the intro clip, and when we come back, let's talk about this whole fun stuff that I'm going to start. Let's go. Okay, guys, so welcome back. Welcome back. Let's get right into it. So, before I talk about the series of projects that I want to start working on, let's first talk about the reason why I make that shift into trying to focus more on building things and understanding the concept at a deeper level. So, I'm currently working on a certificate. I don't want to talk too much about that certificate. I'll talk a little bit more about it once I pass it. I'm very close to passing it. So once I do, I'll kind of dive into it like the rest of my other certificates that I've passed. This certificate is going to be my last certificate for a while. It's not to say that I'm not going to take other certificates. I still have my eye on the OSCP. That's a story for another day. But this certificates that I'm working on is going to be my last certificate for a long time. And the reason why I'm going to pull back on certificate is because in this part of my career, I want to focus more on building things and understanding concept at a deeper level. So no more theoretical stuff, no more book stuff. I'm kind of tired of that. I want to be able to get my hands and build more lab and build more things and touch as much technology as I possibly can. And I've been doing that for a while, right? So when I take an exam, I very heavily focus on like doing labs and trying to understand concept at a deeper level. But that's one of the reasons why I fall in love with IT, whether it's like tech related, as in IT career and doing all this day-to-day stuff that we do in the IT world, or learning about different other technology and trying to get to understand them a little bit more. It's always been fun for me and I've always enjoyed that. And I want to fall back in love with that and do a lot more of that. No more, no more certificates. And again, I will dive a little bit more into why I'm pulling back from certificate once I pass the certificate and talk about it. But I wanted to fall in love again with the idea of building things and understanding concept at a deeper level. And I believe that this new series of projects are going to allow me to do that and they're going to allow me to grow. My reason for starting these projects are a little bit selfish, but hey, such is life sometimes. I'm doing them to help me grow and get my hands on as much technology as I possibly can. But most importantly, I want to push myself outside of my comfort zone so things don't feel so uncomfortable as I grow and face new challenges. And I think the only way to do that is to challenge yourself outside of work, push yourself outside of work. So when someone gives you something to do at work or anywhere else, you're like, oh yeah, I've done something similar. And that's a big factor for me. And that's one of the main reasons why I want to start doing a little bit more of like hands-on lab and building things and understanding concept, because I want to challenge myself a little bit more. I'm not a teacher, but I think that people will find value in the contents that I'm going to create. And that's because it's not just about doing things for me anymore, right? I don't just want to do it to say that I've done it. I want to try and document everything that I do. And I feel like a lot of people that are starting out in IT, a lot of people that are where I am in IT right now, are going to find value in it. And even sometimes people that are a lot more further than I am in IT are probably most likely find value in some of the things that I'm going to create, because I'm going to try to, be as detailed as I possibly can. Because I think the goal for me is to see whether or not, and it's a challenge for me too, because I'm an introvert. It's hard to see when I'm in front of the camera talking, but I'm very much an introvert. I don't enjoy talking too much. So there's gonna be a challenge for me to be able to say, am I able to read up on a concept, understand the concept, explain it to other people, and make it so that other people understand it, and kind of move on from there, and I'll be able to document it as well, where I put it on my website, I put it on YouTube here, so other people can find value in it, other people can find value in my growth, other people can find value in my failure. I feel like people will find value in me going through things, building these things, and then talking about them as I go along. So it's going to be interesting to kind of be able to do that. I want to be able to document things and push myself, but also to be able to see how other people react to some of the things that I put out. And most importantly, how people that are way smarter than me, what are some of the feedback they're going to give me to say like, hey, you can do this better. And that's very important for me. I'm very big on growth, and that's very important to be able to say like, how do I challenge myself, but how do I also put it out there so other people can say you can do this better, to challenge yourself a bit more. The reason for saying that is that I don't want people to look at things and say this content is not perfect. I'm going to make mistakes. And I'm going to stumble, and I'm going to fail, but I think that's part of like the learning process. And I think that, again, as I said earlier, not to be repetitive, I find value in that, and I think that a lot of people will also find value in that as well. So with all that being said, well, the moral of the story is don't see the projects that I'm going to do as something that's perfect. See it as something that is growth oriented. So look at me as someone that is willing to grow and want to grow, and he keeps pushing himself to reach bigger heights. If you have better ideas on some of the projects that I'm going to push out, feel free to let me know. Again, I'm not an egotistical person, so I don't take anything personal. Feel free to give me advice. Feel free to tell me that there's a better way to do things. For those of you guys that are getting started, for those of you guys that are where I am right now, I hope you find value in some of the contents that I'm going to create, because I know that I am going to find value in it, and it's going to be fun to kind of go through it. For the new series, what I want to do on the channel is I want to have seasons. So I want to have like season 1, season 2, season 3. And the reason why I want to do that is because for each season, I want to focus on something new. So for example, the new season I'm going to start, which is season 1, is going to start basically from the ground up. So in this season, which is season 1 that's starting, we're going to build stuff from the ground up. So we're going to talk about our infrastructure, setting up our server, setting up our hypervisor, setting up everything, setting up our backup system, setting up everything that you normally see in a small office, setting all of that from scratch, domain controller, DHCP, DNS, and setting up different servers, setting up like coming up with like a topology to kind of demonstrate what we're going to build out, building those things out. For season 1, we're going to talk about starting things from scratch, where we set up our infrastructure, set up our environment, build applications on top of our environment, get to understand how all of those things connect, DNS, DHCP, all of the good stuff. That's going to be season 1. And then season 2 is going to be how do we automate that? So that's touching a little bit more into the DevOps part of things, when we talk about like, okay, we manually build this environment that we just built. How do we automate that environment? How do we create it so that we don't have to manually do all of the things that we've done in season 1? In season 2 is how do we automate that so we just put everything together, so every time someone wants to build a new environment and just press a button or just run a command, and that environment is automatically built out while we grab a cup of coffee. We stay hydrated. So that's going to be season 2. And then season 3, of course, is probably going to be something in the line of like, how do we containerize that environment? Is it possible? What are some of the things that we can do? So we've learned how to build an environment. We'll learn how to automate that environment, DevOps part, and how do we containerize that, which is also kind of touch on DevOps a little bit. I'm somewhat new to DevOps. Well, I'm actually new to DevOps. So they're going to be interesting to kind of learn those tools, whether it's Terraform, Ansible, whatever it is that we decide that we want to use. Most likely going to be learning this as I kind of explain it to you guys, so it's going to be interesting. I'm pretty excited about that. So season 3 will be something like, how do we containerize that environment? How do we take that environment and break it into pieces and make it so that everything is containerized if possible? That could be season 3, or maybe season 3 could be something else, and then season 4, of course, could be something totally different. Like, how do we take this environment and move it to the cloud? Each of the seasons that we're going to have, it's going to be us or me. Again, it's a bit selfish as to why I'm studying this whole thing. It's going to be me attacking something different that's going to allow me to understand the concept and allow me to grow, right? And then season 5 could be something totally different. Maybe I've always been fond of robotics, so maybe a couple of seasons down the line, it could be, how do you learn robotics from scratch? And then kind of go through that struggle and kind of document the whole process. And maybe next season could be, how do you build a car? I don't know. So the whole idea is that I want to create these seasons wherein like each season it's challenging me and pushing me to become a better tech, a better individual, and it's allowing me to grow. Right? I don't want each season to be the same. I don't want to create the same content over and over again. So if someone was to ask me a question, how do you do this? I probably just refer them to a season. All right. So seasons, different episodes in that season. And the idea is to keep challenging myself every single season. You know, maybe a season season could be because again, as I said, the OSCP is one of the things that I've always wanted to get in. One of the certificates that I'm slowly working towards. Slowly. So it could be like a season could be like me studying for my OSCP and just going hammer, and then whether or not I failed it, just kind of document the whole process. So again, each season is going to be challenging. Each season is going to push me, but I also think that it's going to be beneficial for you guys that are kind of going to watch a lot. Yeah, that's pretty much it. It's going to be fun. More stuff coming. It's always stay geeking. Do not forget to stay geeking. I'll let you guys go now. I'll see you guys in the next one. And of course, don't forget to stay hydrated. I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.